Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mr. Small's Theater. Brian Crawford here at the River's Edge studio, and we have a big, nice, special announcement for everyone today. I always love when I can have these big reveals, and today I am so happy to have Charissa and Ralph in studio with me. They came here from the Carnegie Science Center,
That's right.
and they have a great podcast called SNaQ. Charissa, Ralph, welcome to the studio. Welcome to the River's Edge. You guys are going to be joining us every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. So please tell me, what in the world is SNaQ?
Well, so SNaQ is a science show that we're making from the Carnegie Science Center. It's the first podcast that the Science Center has put out.
Yeah.
And Charissa and I, SNaQ stands for Science, News, and
Q questions.
Yes, so we do science headlines, interesting things like today there's a Japanese space probe that's deploying tiny little bouncing robots onto an asteroid.
Oh, wow.
And like news like that, really interesting things. We also do in-depth topics. Some of them have been things like cephalopods, my favorite, maybe the cephalopodcast. And we also have sometimes we have interesting guests. We do science topics, and then we do, this is my favorite part, I think, questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we let people, if you're listening to the show, you can either call us or you can email us and ask your own questions, and we'll pick a couple to answer each episode.
That is one of my favorite parts of your guys' show. And you get questions from everywhere. Obviously, the Pittsburgh area. Everybody knows the Carnegie Science Center. It's a Pittsburgh icon. I know I've spent the night over there before as a kid at one of the scouting events back in my Boy Scouting days. So everybody here who lives in Pittsburgh that grew up in Pittsburgh has a connection to the Science Center. But your guys' reach goes beyond that. I was listening to one show and somebody had called in from out in California with a question.
Yeah, it's been really exciting to see, like, especially with the podcast and how you can see where people are downloading it. We've had people download it in, like, Serbia and...
There are 50 different countries that have downloaded the podcast so far. So it's pretty neat. There are people all on every continent that have listened to our show. And that's really fun to sort of expand beyond the walls of the Science Center. Because the Science Center, it is a local community organization, but we also, science is an important thing for people to be aware of and excited about all around the world. And we kind of get to do a little of both. So we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's really awesome. I was fortunate enough where I was able to find out about you guys through the exhibit that you have going on right now in the PPG Pavilion, which is your latest edition, a beautiful new addition to the Carnegie Science Center. We were there with another podcast that I host called The Culture Cruise, and The Culture Cruise is a podcast that reviews different museums and things like that. So we went to the Lego exhibit with the Culture Cruise, and we found out about your podcast there. So we actually released that episode today on the River's Edge. So if you can go to the Culture Cruise page, you can find it right there. So I found out about the podcast. I listened to it. I thought, this is great. I said I wanted to reach out to you guys and see if it would be something that you would be interested in working with us together to bring you guys to the stream. And I'm very excited to announce that it's happening. This past Wednesday, we did give people a sneak peek, and we released it unannounced, a little soft opening in the rotation at 10 a.m. So this coming Wednesday will be the second time that you guys will actually air on the River's Edge.
We just recorded it, and it was a lot of fun. And I got really excited.
Best episode we recorded all day, easily.
Yes.
So how long has SNaQ existed?
It's been about just over a year, right?
Yeah, just over a year. So Charissa and I have actually worked together for almost a decade. We've been working at the Science Center doing informal science education. Much of our real life work is in the planetarium. Charissa is the producer of the Buell Planetarium, and I do some program development.
That's great. I was just there the other day for the War of the Worlds event.
That's my baby.
Yes.
Was it? I loved it. I was so excited to see some of the actual equipment that they used because I have never seen any of that up front and in person.
Yeah.
So that was really, really cool to experience.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun with our shows in there, but I've been in the planetarium for 9 years, just over 9 years now, and Ralph has bounced around the Science Center.
I've been in almost every department.
Almost every department.
I can't get enough. I try and do everything I can.
But yeah, we both are obviously really excited about science and stuff like that, and Ralph's kind of background in mainly biology, right?
Yeah, so I actually did study biology at the University of Pittsburgh.
And I have a background in astronomy and physics, so bringing those backgrounds together and kind of encompassing a lot of different science topics, although I tend to pick out the space ones a lot.
Yeah, we do lean a little spacey, but not just space. And I think ultimately we're just really curious. And one of the things that's really fun for me about this show is that I would be curious about these stories anyway. Like, I just want to know how stuff works and what's happening. And we get to try and spread that kind of energy around and get other people excited and getting curious and, staying hungry for science.
I mean, the main thing, too, is we want to make it as accessible as possible for people. And, sometimes when you don't want to just read a scientific article and all of that jargon is there and maybe you don't know what all that stuff means, and not all of that is necessary to understanding what is happening. So basically we try to just break it down and so anyone can listen to this, whether you're a kid or you're an adult, no matter what your education level. We try to make it's something for everyone.
Yeah, and you even have kids that call in. I've heard kids call in on the podcast with questions.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I had a friend tell me that she listens to this with her son all the time, who's 8 years old. I'm like, that's what it's for.
That's awesome. And you mentioned that you guys love talking about this and reading about this anyways, and I feel like that can make a really great podcast. I mentioned the Culture Cruise. That's exactly how that came about. My friend and I love going to museums, large museums, small museums. We've gone to everything from the Science Center to actually most of the museums in your guys' system, family of museums we've been to, but we've gone to the Falling Water, we've been to Bicycle Heaven, Trundle Manor, all over. Yeah. But the podcast started because we would just go for fun, and as my schedule became more complex with the River's Edge, I had to find a way to continue to make this a priority, so I said, why don't we just make it a show?
Yeah.
So I get it completely, and I think it shows with how well the show comes together and how enjoyable it is, because if the host isn't having fun themselves, then people aren't going to have fun who are listening.
Yeah, a lot of it is us just getting nerding out over
we totally really mean it. If we sound like we're excited about what we're talking about, it's because we are.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's exciting stuff too. It's not hard to get excited about if you break it down and understand it a little bit. Yeah.
We've gotten to handle dinosaur bones.
We touched an octopus.
Wow.
I shook hands with an octopus.
I held hands with an octopus.
Yeah. That's incredible.
I mean, you don't do that kind of thing every day.
No.
Unless you're lucky and you get to make a cool podcast.
Right.
Also, one of my favorite things about the podcast, we get to do brand new stories, and as much as I would love to build a new science gallery every week at the Science Center, there are certain limitations. We're a brick and mortar institution. Exhibits cost a lot of money to make, and there's a lot of development that goes into them, and they're amazing, and everyone should come see them. But this is one option we have to make brand new cutting edge content all the time. Sometimes we'll have shows that we'll put out the day of a breaking news story, and that's pretty cool to have that opportunity to do and spread. Science is not just a historic thing that happened already. It's ongoing, and that's something we really get to explore and have fun with.
That is really cool, and I'm hoping now with the connection that we have built with the River's Edge that maybe we can even take you guys on the road sometime and do a podcast live from something that's happening, whether it's a new exhibit that comes in or something.
Or like a rocket launch.
Yeah, a rocket launch, or even just something in the city. Totally. I don't know, PPG comes out with some new technology, for example. We could be there and do a live show from the event, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think there's so many opportunities, and I think it's so great for both of us to have you guys here in the River's Edge family.
Yeah, we're really happy to be here. Thanks for inviting us to be part of the network. I think it's a really cool way for people to get a hold of music and shows like ours, podcasts, and just in general. I'm always putting stuff into my ears, so it's really neat to be part of a cool program that's putting stuff out for everyone to listen to.
Yeah, and everything here on the River's Edge, it's all local, and that's one thing that really separates us from a lot of other networks and a lot of other streams is all of our music is locally written, locally created by local artists. All of our talk shows are local people in the Pittsburgh area. Everything here is local to Pittsburgh. Homegrown. Yeah, so
that's the good stuff.
Really happy about that, and so happy to have you guys here with us. So, one last word. Sure. Why should people listen to SNaQ?
Ooh, well, I would say it's the best podcast that Carissa and I make. That's for sure.
Wow, that's a really compelling...
No, it's because, if you're curious about how stuff works and if you want to learn about science news and if you want to ask a question, you can get on the show. Lots of people ask questions and actually make it on. Get curious and explore a little bit. Stay hungry for science.
Yeah, I think if you are just wanting to learn something new, it's an easy and a digestible way to do it. Yeah. And also we talk about digestion a lot.
That's true. Our last episode was about digestion.
It was all about
digestion. If you want to spend some time digesting digestion, then we're probably your go-to podcast.
Your podcast. Yeah.
And you can also find out about great stuff that's going on at the Science Center.
Exactly.
Listening to it as well. So, and I know, as I said, I don't know if I said it in this conversation, but I am a member.
Yes.
And
thank you
love,
for that.
Thank you.
Thank you to anyone who's a member out there.
And one thing that's so to talk about the membership real quick, you guys kind of have, and I don't want to mean to make this sound like a plug, but it kind of is, I guess.
Yeah, totally. Plug away.
It's a really good. It's a very good deal.
It's unbelievable.
Well, and especially because you have all 4 museums that are tied together. So a membership grants you access to not just the Science Center, but Natural History, the Art Museum, the Warhol. So it's you can't. It's a killer deal. You can't beat it.
But it gets even better. So I had a membership that was gifted to me, and I asked for it. Basically, the way it goes in my family is when it comes to a birthday or Christmas, nobody. On my mom's side of the family, nobody tries to surprise anyone. My grandfather will literally order himself something on eBay and hand it to my mother for her to wrap and give to him.
So that's a very efficient way of giving.
Yeah, so my mom asked, well, what do you want for Christmas? And I said, I want a membership to the Carnegie Museums. So she got me the membership. I go there one day, and hopefully I don't get anyone in trouble with this, but somebody said, I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you this, but if you let the other person buy you, if you buy the other person their ticket or take their money and add it, you can upgrade to a dual membership if you want.
Sure.
And I did. And now for $100, I can bring an extra person as many times as I want. Yeah. And I'm enrolled into the Roam system where you can actually travel the country and go to other museums that are affiliated with you at a bigger level.
Yeah, that reciprocal museum membership is...
So I was just
especially for people like you who love to travel to museums.
Yeah, if you're really into museums, you can't beat it.
I was just I couldn't believe that when I found out. And again, it was for the price that it cost me to upgrade, that was about the same price for a ticket.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was just really? It was a no-brainer.
Right. And it's also, being a member gives you the opportunity to come and you don't have to spend all day there. So some people will suffer from museum fatigue, right? No matter how cool a museum is, you can't stay there for 9 hours, right? So being able to just pop in for an hour or two and just see one exhibit, just see the Art of the Brick, or just come and see a planetarium show. And then come back again later.
Or if you need to leave with your kids because they need a nap or a snack or something.
Or you have the opposite problem where you're there for 9 hours and you only got through 1 or 2 sections.
No, our museums are not one-day deals.
Exactly.
There's no way you can explore especially all 4 museums in one day. In fact, you want to give yourself many visits to check it out.
Exactly. So check them out, SNaQ. You can hear them every morning, 10 a.m., right here at riversedgepgh.com. And you can also just go to riversedgepgh.com and click SNaQ right there, or go to the Carnegie Science Center's website and find them there as well for all of their previous episodes before the River's Edge, pre-River's Edge episodes, all right there.
And remember,
stay hungry for science.
It's Charissa and Ralph. I'm Brian Crawford. This is the River's Edge Radio Network. Don't forget, you can listen to local music 24 hours a day at riversedgepgh.com.